Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're about to unpack something that's, well, it's incredibly profound. Look, as adult learners, we're constantly navigating a world that just demands a whole lot from us, right? We're juggling careers, families, these massive responsibilities, and let's face it, a global landscape that changes practically overnight. So sometimes we just really need to take a step back and examine the very foundation of how we keep moving forward. Today, we're looking at a deeply philosophical concept, one that literally defines our capacity to not just survive adulthood, but to actually navigate it with genuine purpose. We're going to explore the architecture of resilience.
Okay, let's dive into this. Takes a lickin' and keeps on ticking. You probably recognize that one, right? It's the classic slogan for Timex watches. For a long time, that was the ultimate description of resilience, back when watches actually ticked, of course. You know, way before our modern era of smartwatches that buzz to remind you to stand up, or worse, just suddenly die on your wrist because you forgot to charge them overnight. But back then, a watch had mechanical gears, and the promise was super simple. You could bash it around, drop it, put it through the physical ringer, and those little hands would just keep right on moving. It's a fun nostalgic metaphor for sure. But as our source material points out, it's actually deeply relevant for us right now, especially when we start looking at how that mechanical durability translates to our own lives.
Because let's be real here about the harsh reality of adulthood. Life doesn't just hand us physical bumps and bruises anymore, does it? No, it hands us these incredibly complex, multi-dimensional challenges. Our source text specifically highlights those really difficult moments, those specific times when conditions just change, when things completely unexpectedly deter us from our path. Think about a scenario where, say, you've built your entire career in one specific industry, and then virtually overnight, a new technology comes along and completely upends your livelihood. Or imagine the sudden reality of navigating an aging parent's health crisis while simultaneously trying to manage a demanding household. I mean, the ground literally shifts right beneath your feet. These are the moments when the conditions of our lives radically change, threatening to stop our momentum entirely. And you know what? That is exactly where that old watch metaphor needs a serious upgrade. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we have to completely transition our understanding of the word itself. On one side, we've got what we can call old resilience. This is that mechanical, physical toughness we talked about. The ticking watch taking a literal physical hit. It's all about enduring blunt force, just gritting your teeth and powering through. But as adults facing those complex, shifting life conditions we just talked about, well, brute force just isn't going to cut it anymore. We need the new resilience. This isn't just about surviving a blow. As our source beautifully articulates, it's about profound emotional and spiritual capacity. It's about how we actually continue to live and how we dynamically adapt when the very environment around us completely transforms. So the crucial point is exactly how we redefine this entire concept. I actually want to read this slowly, directly from our source, because it represents just a massive shift in how we view our own survival. Here it is. Resilience is the ability to continue to live in faith, hope, love, and wisdom as life conditions change. I mean, wow, think about the sheer weight of that sentence for a second. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say resilience is the ability to never feel pain. It doesn't say it's the ability to stubbornly refuse to change course. No, it says it is the ability to continue to live, and not just barely exist, mind you, but to live grounded in four very specific, powerful human capacities, even while absolutely everything else is shifting around you. Let's move to and see how this builds when we break it down. We're basically left with four pillars of human resilience: faith, hope, love, and wisdom. When life stresses us out, when that massive career shift or that unexpected health crisis deters us, these aren't just, nice poetic ideals. They're actually our internal mechanics. They're the gears that keep us moving. Faith is that capacity to trust that there's a path forward, even when the immediate data looks completely bleak. Hope is the energy to actually envision that the future can be better, which completely prevents us from falling into cynicism. Love is what connects us to others, reminding us that, hey, we don't have to absorb the shockwaves of life entirely on our own. And wisdom, this one is absolutely key. Wisdom is the practical know-how to understand how to adapt as those life conditions change. It's knowing when to hold firm and exactly when to pivot. Together, these four pillars give us the incredible capacity to absorb the impact of life's complex challenges without losing our core humanity. So, why does all this matter? Why do we need to consciously cultivate these four pillars in our daily lives? Well, our source provides the ultimate payoff here. You see, we rely on faith, hope, love, and wisdom, not just for our own isolated personal survival. We need this deep resilience because it's what keeps us going when things deter us from our shared vision. We're kind of shifting from the internal to the external here, right? And what exactly is that external vision? It's a humane, sustainable world. That's simple. If we lose our resilience, if we let changing conditions strip away our hope or our wisdom, we literally lose our ability to contribute to that better world. So our personal, individual resilience isn't just about us, it's the fundamental building block of a resilient, humane society. Which brings us to the ultimate question, tying that old nostalgic metaphor directly back to your own internal architecture. When life deters you, when the conditions inevitably change, what keeps you ticking? Is it merely mechanical routine and just brute force? Or is it faith, hope, love, and wisdom? Take a moment today to really examine your own gears and ensure they're built for the life you truly want to live. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep building that resilience.